Well, good morning, sunshine. Got my morning brew here, ready to get going for the day. And today is going to be a good day, guys. And the reason why is because I'm going to be picking up my mentee. Got about, 5 or maybe 6 stops. And then I'm going to be going right by his house. And I'm going to be picking him up and just taking him out on the truck today for pretty much the whole day. Going to kind of show him the ropes. This is a guy that's got 30 pulls of his own and reached out to me. He was looking for a mentor, and I said, absolutely, love to help. That's what we're going to talk about today, guys. We're going to talk about getting a mentor and being a mentor or a mentee, depending on which situation you're in, or possibly both. I have a mentor and I have a mentee also. I've been doing this about 5 years, and my mentor's been doing it about, I think, 10, 15, or 20 maybe. And he'll come out and help me on a lot of repair jobs that I don't understand, maybe like, heater diagnosis or automation issues. Starting to get into that stuff last year, but there's a lot I don't know, and he'll come and meet me on the job site and give me a hand, and I'm really grateful for him. And I really enjoy being a mentor myself. Got this guy that reached out to me at the distributor, and he's got, I think, about 30 pulls, 35 pulls, growing pretty fast, and he just wants to see how I do things. And we touch base probably a couple times a week. All right, guys, let's get into it. First thing, I got to get rid of all these tools. Look at that mess. I really need to clean out the truck, but that ain't gonna happen today. That's a chore for another day. But let's go ahead and unload these in the garage. We don't have any repair work. We don't have any filter cleans today. It's purely service. Got 20 stops on the route. Let's do it. Oh, that's good stuff. Okay, bear with me here. Didn't realize I'd be cleaning the truck today. I swear I don't have a drinking problem. I'm a social drinker. All right, guys, now that I took those tools out of my truck, the chances of me needing them have gone up to about 100%. So cross our fingers. Hopefully we don't need those tools. But here we go. Now he's got somewhere to sit. Look at that, nice and clean. It hasn't looked like that for probably 5 years, which is basically when I started this whole deal. All right, guys, look. We're gonna go ahead and head out to our first job. This one's in the ghetto, so hopefully I make it out. Okay, first stop of the day, 17 minutes away. And I got some time to really have a heart-to-heart with you. So here we go. Man, it's hot this morning. It's almost November in Arizona, and it's still hot. There's somebody out there right now that could really use a mentor. Someone they can bounce ideas off of, someone they can learn from, someone that can help them with repair work, with how to set up their business correctly, all that stuff. But nobody's willing to do it. Why not? Are you willing to do it? I'm willing to do it, and I am doing it. I've been doing it, and I'm doing it today. Real briefly here, I'd like to take just a minute to talk about the benefits of having a mentor. When you first get into this business, there's a lot you don't know, and there's even more you don't know. And that makes it kind of hard. It's definitely an uphill battle, and it's that way with any industry. These guys are going too slow. Give me a second here. Oh, never mind. That's why everybody has to merge for construction. I got it. Took me a while, but I got it. Okay, going back to what we were saying. It's really an uphill climb when you transfer from a different industry. Let's say you were, working in restaurant industry and you want to start a pool business, or you're working in the pool business and you want to go to the restaurant industry. Either way, when you make that switch, it's an uphill climb, especially when it's your own business. You're going to jump in head first and you're going to just start getting out of your comfort zone. There's going to be a lot of things you don't know. You're going to need some help. You're going to need some information. You're going to need some contacts in the industry, and you're not going to have them, and you're going to have to figure it all out yourself. Not that it can't be done, but it's so much easier if you can find yourself a good mentor. And mentors are just worth their weight in gold. I can't even tell you how much of a blessing they are if you can find a good one. So just real short, my transition, I went from the medical field to owning my own pool service business. I've always been an entrepreneur, and so, at heart, I just wanted to have my own company. And I had a couple of my family members in the pool industry, and I did that in college, and so it was just kind of a natural fit for me. But when I got into the industry, it was really challenging, especially the first year, but really the first 2 years. After the first year, to be honest, I didn't even know if I could continue because I wasn't really making any money. I was making money, but when I factor in, like, let's say I were to hire somebody and pay that person to do the route, I wasn't making any money on top, so there was really not much profit. So what good is that company? I had a job, but I didn't have a company. And I wasn't making nearly the money that I made when I left the medical field. So I had to figure something out, and I had to figure it out real quick. And I didn't have a mentor for the first 4 or 5 years. Like I said, I did have some family in the industry, but they kind of left the industry, and they weren't real solid in it anyways. And so I couldn't really rely on them for much information or much help just because they didn't know. They were pretty new themselves. So how did I find my mentor? And how did my mentee find me? Let's talk about that, guys. Let's talk about a couple tips you can do to find yourself a mentor, because I know there's lots of guys out there that are looking for a mentor, especially guys that are watching this video interested in pool service companies. So I found my mentor actually with the help of my brother. He was this particular mentor was an old friend of ours when we were just little kids growing up. We lived in the same neighborhood just down the street, and our families were family friends, and then kind of lost contact with them over the years. We moved away and they moved away, and anyways, I guess my brother, I don't know if he had him on Facebook, or maybe he ran into him in town somewhere and just reconnected or what. I don't know exactly the whole story with that, but they started talking and found out they were both in the pool industry, and one thing led to another. Then they went to lunch, and I was invited because I was the brother who was also in the pool industry. Hey, bring him along, have him come to lunch with us. Cool, yeah, I'd love to go, let's do it. And I show up, and this guy, he just blew me away at how much knowledge and information that he had in this industry, and it was just mind-blowing, the level that he had accomplished. And this guy, he's been in the industry, I think 10 or 15 years, and has his own business, I think running about 250 to 300 accounts, does really well for himself, and he's loving life, and he's a true success. And I thought, man, there's a lot I can learn from this guy. How can I approach this guy? I said, I don't really know this guy too well. I'm kind of embarrassed to ask him for help. I don't know if he'd even be interested in that. What could I do? And so we're sitting down having lunch, and he just basically opened himself up to us. I didn't even really have to ask him. It was almost like he was begging to mentor me and my brother also. And it kind of started with just a conversation of the challenges that we were experiencing in our businesses. Mine and my brother, we have separate businesses, but he was talking to us about our challenges, and I was telling him, sometimes I kind of run into some repair issues that I just don't have enough experience to solve or handle. And he's like, well, what kind of stuff you having trouble with? I'm like, I can swap out a filter, I can take a motor, pump apart, I can replace pumps, I can fix all that stuff. But I start getting into heaters and I get stumped, or I get into automation. There's a lot of things I don't know about automation, and I get stumped. And he's like, just call me, man. Just call me. And I'm like, what? Like, just call you? He's like, yeah, just call me on the phone. Here's my number. Give me a call. When you're there and you're stuck, dude, give me a call. I'll help you out. We'll get through it together. It was so helpful, and he was like pushing himself onto me. And I was just like, what the freak? Where did this guy come from? Is he from the heavens? What the heck is going on here? I just couldn't believe like what was going on, because I had wanted a mentor for years, and I know I needed one, and I know I could get, further and progress further and get to the next level so much faster with a mentor, but I didn't know how to find one. And here this guy like just fell in my lap, and and everything he's saying is like he wants to help. And I'm like, I wonder if this guy, does he do this on the side for pool guys, like for side money, or maybe he does repair. I just didn't have him figured out yet, and I thought, I'm gonna give him a shot. So anyways, me and my brother, we start reaching out to this guy, different, circumstances running into in the field. And it turns out this guy is like more than willing to help. In fact, he enjoys it. He loves it. He lives for it. He lives for helping people. This guy is from like another planet. He's not from this world. So anyways, we start trying him out. I get a couple situations on my route where I need some help. One of them, I was having issues with a Hayward OmniLogic. This is the touchscreen panel. It wasn't connecting to the Wi-Fi, and couldn't figure out what was going on with it. Anyways, had that issue, and then I had an issue with a heater that would turn on, but it would not heat. And so I told him, I said, hey, I got these two things. I'd love to have you come out. I'd be happy to pay you for your time, and just kind of show me, if you can, how to go through these and diagnose these issues and get them taken care of for the customer. He's like, Ryan, you don't got to pay me, dude. I just want you to succeed. Tell me where they are. I'll look at my schedule, and we'll meet up. And I'm just like, you don't even want any money? This is amazing. Not that I want to take advantage of that, because I don't, but I just never met anybody like that. So anyways, we meet up, early in the morning, because that's when he had to do it. He had to do it before he got going with his stuff. So basically, he made his day longer to help me out, and we went through those issues, and we got them solved. Turns out the Wi-Fi issue needed a new little Wi-Fi antenna. We got it fixed. Charged the customer, made some money, and then we went to the next job, which was just down the road. And then we diagnosed the heater, and it was going to be a pretty expensive fix on the heater, and gave the customer a quote to get it repaired, but told them, basically, you're probably better off getting a new heater at this point, because that heater is really old. And they said, let's just get a new one. And we haven't put that in yet. It's going to be this winter, actually pretty soon here now that we're getting into winter, that they want to get that done. But my mentor said he's happy to help me come out and replace that heater. I've never replaced a heater, and he says he's happy to come out and help me do it on my first job. So after we wrapped up with those couple jobs, I offered to pay him again. I said, here, let me just give you a little bit to reimburse your time and your gas. And he seriously would not take the money. He would not take it. I said, well, why don't you give it to your techs as a bonus? You find a tech doing a good job, just throw it his way and give him a bonus for the day. He's like, no, man, I want to help you. I want you to succeed. And at this point, like, I already told you I'm mind blown, but like, it just keeps getting better and better. This guy is just from another planet. And it really made me like take a look at how I treated other people and what I was doing to help others and how I was falling short. And so my mentor told me, he said, look, I don't want your money. All I want you to do is I want you to pay it forward. He says, one day you're going to be in a position where you can help somebody else, and I want you to help that person as much as you possibly can. So at this point, I'm basically like fighting back the tears. I just can't believe my ears, So I really had to do an evaluation of my own life and how I was treating, people in general, but also people in the industry. And was I a help to them, or was I a burden? Did I care about money, or did I care about helping them? And basically what I came, the conclusion that I came to is that I didn't really care about other people. I cared a lot more about myself, and he helped me figure that out. And so I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to be a better person in general, and I'm trying to do a better job at helping others. The truth is I didn't deserve a mentor, because I wasn't willing to mentor myself. So why did I deserve to have a good mentor? I didn't. So I had to change. So here we are, first stop. We're kind of in the ghetto here. I've got one pool in the ghetto. I don't know if you can see. No, you can't really see, but we're in the ghetto, so hopefully I make it back alive. All right, guys, I made it out alive. Turns out there's not too many gangs running around at 9 o'clock in the morning. Go figure. Got quite a bee problem back there, though. Bees almost got me. Okay, next stop, ladies and gentlemen. 7 minutes. Let's do it. See what I can spit out in 7 minutes. Man, this ice, I don't know, kind of has a nasty flavor to it. I think I need to clean my ice maker. Almost tastes like metal. All right, leaving the ghetto. So long, ghetto! Okay, let's get back to it. I want to talk about how my mentee found me. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. But, so basically I'm at the distributor one day, and for those of you who don't know, a distributor is basically like the little local branch here where you can go and buy wholesale parts from. They call it wholesale, but like really it's the same price as Amazon, but it says wholesale only on the door, so that makes you feel good, right? Anyways, that's a whole nother topic for another video, because we don't want this video to be 2 hours long now, do we? All right. Okay, so I'm there, and I see this guy as I walk in. He's walking out. Looks like a nice guy. I like to be kind of friendly to people. I don't want to be a jerk, so I just kind of like look over at him, nod. He says hello. I say, hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? And that was the end of it. I walked in the door, got in line to get my stuff, and I just figured that was the last time I'd ever seen that guy, and I didn't know who he was. I couldn't point him out from another guy on the street. I didn't know him at all. Anyways, I finish what I'm doing at the counter, get my parts. I walk out to my truck, and he's standing over by my truck. I'm like, oh, he wants to talk to me. Okay, cool. What's going on? See what he wants. Maybe he's interested in my truck, or he likes the rack I have to hold on my crap. I don't know, but it's not the first time I've had another pool professional approach me out in the field and want to chat for a minute. So I'm happy to chat. And anyways, he says hello again, and basically what he tells me right from the start, he says, I just started my business. I'm kind of struggling, and I saw you waved and said hello. I just figured you were a nice guy, and I came out and I looked at your truck, and I could just see how organized you were, and I just thought, I bet you there's something I could learn from this guy. Maybe I'll ask him if he's interested in helping me with repair work and stuff. So here I am. I'm just asking you if you're interested in maybe helping me with repair work and helping me be successful in the business. And mind you, this is like a week after my mentor that I just got shows up on site, like literally drives 20 minutes out of his way and shows up on site to help me out and won't take a penny in compensation, and tells me, hey, all I want you to do is pay it forward. And so now I'm like dumbstruck, like, is this like, I don't even know, it just doesn't even seem like reality. I don't really believe in coincidences, but you be the judge. What's going on here? I don't know. I mean, I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years now. I've never had anybody ask me to be their mentor, just flat out, hey, will you be my mentor? And then all of a sudden I get my own mentor who's just a huge blessing, and then a week later a guy just pops into my life out of the blue and needs my help, but he's asking for me to help him. So what do you think I did? Well, I'll tell you what the old me would have done. I would have just, I wouldn't have brushed him off like rudely or anything like that. I would have been nice and polite, but in all honesty, I probably wouldn't have tried like really hard and given up like too much of my time to help this individual be successful. And that's because my heart wasn't in the right place. And maybe it's still not. Maybe I still need to improve. I don't know. But after the interaction with my mentor, I thought, I've got to give this guy who's asking for my help as much of me as I possibly can. And so I said, sure, man, I'd love to help you. Here, let me get your number. You get my number. If I have any repair work that you've never done, I'll reach out to you. I'll say, hey, I'm going to be putting in this, switching out this gear module, or be putting in a new filter, or putting in a pump or whatever. I'll reach out to you. I'll see if you're interested in learning it, you can come out and help me with it, and you can kind of do some of it too and get some experience that way. He was like just excited about it. And so I had a couple jobs that week. In fact, I said, hey, I've actually got one right now. I'm headed over to a pool, and I'm going to be putting in this new cartridge filter. I'm taking out a DE filter that's too small for the pool, keeps getting plugged up, and we're going to be replacing it with this this big cartridge filter. And he's like, yeah, you're doing it right now? And I said, yeah, I'm doing it right now. He's like, how far away is it? I'm like, dude, it's like a mile away. Like, we'll be there in 3 minutes. So he literally followed me over there. This is the first day I met him in the parking lot. He followed me right over there to the job, and he helped me out, and he did some of the plumbing. We had to re-level the pad because a tree root was pushing it up, and we got to know each other for, it took probably an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours we were there working together. And I could tell he was a super genuine, nice guy. And that was kind of how it all started. So anyways, I'm at the next stop. I'm going to go hit this real quick, and then I'll be back. Okay, guys, next stop, 5 minutes away. Ugh, looks like I'm out of water here. Got to fix that. Okay, so, when you get to spend a couple hours with a guy doing a repair job, you got a lot of time to talk. And, I was kind of probing a little bit about his business, how he's doing and stuff, and I could tell he's right where I was at like 3-4 years ago. And I just knew, I was like, man, there's so much I could do to help this guy to get to the next level. And, after 2 hours of talking, I could tell this guy's a really nice guy. He's a genuine guy. He has a good heart. And, he's trying to do the right thing. He's got a family. He's got a couple young kids. And he's just out there trying to hustle. And really wanted to help him out. So here we are. We kind of conclude that filter install. And I say, yeah, I'll reach out to you some more if I have some more work that, you might be interested in. And at this point, he basically told me he was interested in learning repair work so he could make more money, right? So I said, any repair jobs I have, I'll reach out to you. And if you're interested, you can come out and help me and get some experience. And I'll show you how to do the work and how to fix it right. And if you can't make it, that's fine too. But I'll always invite you. The invitation's always there. He's like, cool. So, a little time goes by. Maybe a week, I don't know. I don't remember, but it turns out I have a IntelliFlow shaft seal leak. So I got to replace the shaft seal. Reach out to him and say, hey, this is what's going on. We're going to be doing it on this day, approximately this time. Are you interested? Is that something you want to see? And he says, absolutely. I'd love to see it. I'd love to learn that. So I said, cool, man. When I get about 30 minutes out, I'll send you a text, let you know the address and where to meet me, and then we'll do it. So we get there, he shows up, he's ready to go, and we go in the backyard with my tools, and he's kind of just thinking like he's going to be watching me fix an IntelliFlow shaft seal leak. And as soon as we get to the equipment pad, I put all the tools down and I say, okay, man, you're going to do it. You're going to do all of it. And he's like, what, really? I'm like, yeah. like the best way to learn is for you to do it. If I do it and you watch me, you're not going to retain half of what you would if you did it yourself. So here's my tools. I'm here. I'm right here with you. I'll walk you through every step, and you're going to do it. You're going to fix this IntelliFlow shaft seal leak. He's like, cool. So we got down in there, started showing him what to do, what to take apart, what bolts to take off, and all the way through. And he did the whole thing. And you know, he actually didn't really need a lot of assistance. He just needed to know a few little things. So that took, you know, probably an hour, hour and a half. I don't know. I don't remember how long, but it went smooth. We put it back together. The leak was stopped. And, you know, I told him, I said, you know, I charge about $375 for this job. And, you know, it's about $25 in parts, you know, by the time you factor in your seal and all the new O-rings. I replaced all the O-rings while I got it apart. And you know, you really could do this job, and I mean, I think I can do it in about an hour, you know, plus or minus like 15 minutes, depending on if, you know, if the impeller's hard to get off or whatever. Usually about an hour. And that's pretty good money, you know. That's you know, most people would consider that pretty good money. He's like, yeah, that's awesome, man. So now, when he has that show up on his route, which he will, because it's common with IntelliFlows, and you guys that are in the business know that, he'll be able to make $300 like that in an hour of work. So he was super thankful, and once again said, hey, if you have any more, let me know, you know. Anyways, it kind of progressed from there. And, you know, now we meet up for lunch occasionally and talk about business, and we kind of have, like, you know, I guess you could call it a bit of a friendship. I like the guy. He's a cool guy. And I think he likes me back. Okay, guys, on to the next one. This next one's only 2 minutes away. You know, now that I'm actually on the route, most of these pulls are just going to be 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes apart. So I may have to finish this later. Gonna kind of work my way south and end up about 20-25 minutes away from home. So I may have to turn this video back on and finish it on my drive home for the day. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, pretty much done, ready to wrap up here. Just wanted to give you some quick tips on how to find a mentor and how to find a mentee, or how to be a mentor. We've kind of already alluded to some of it, but I just want to, you know, drive these points home. All right, guys, tip number one, if you want a mentor, the best advice I can give you is be willing to be a mentor, number one. And I mean really be a mentor. Like, if someone, you know, genuinely asks you for help, if they go out of their comfort zone and ask you for help, you know, are you really going to help them? Even if it's uncomfortable for you, or costs you time, or costs you possibly even maybe a little bit of money, you know, are you really willing to help that person out? Or are you just going to superficially help them? You know, make them think that you're helping them, make them think that you care about them, but really in your heart, you don't really give a crap. So that's the first tip. Second tip is just ask. You know, you're probably going to have to ask quite a few guys before you finally find one. And I know how it is. Like, I'm the same way. It's embarrassing. You know, you kind of feel like, I guess, inadequate a little bit, kind of embarrassed. You don't want to just go up to some random person and ask if they would help you out. You know, when I first got into the business, I kind of thought I'd find my mentor by finding repair guys and, you know, offering to pay them money to help me do, you know, basically repair work that I didn't know yet, and to help me learn it. And, you know, I found out, you know, I've been through several of those guys, and I still work with some of them, and that's cool and all. But the relationship that I set, or the expectations that I set from the beginning with those guys, is that I want to give them money in exchange for their labor. And so they're not really too interested in being a mentor. And so that was kind of my strategy when I first started, and that strategy didn't work too well. I didn't really get any mentors out of that. I mean, I did learn some repair work because they would show up and, you know, help me, you know, take apart a pump or whatever. but I wouldn't really consider it a mentor. They, I was paying them, in some cases, the money that I was getting, I was giving it all to them just so I could learn the experience of how to fix it. But, those guys, they're nice guys, and I don't have anything against them, but, if I were to have trouble with an issue on a pool and I were to call them up, I know they're not extremely interested in taking my phone call. They're not extremely interested in helping me out. They are if there's going to be money involved, because they're going to have a problem that they can fix and make some money. And there's nothing wrong with that either. But that's not a mentor, guys. All right, guys, had a dog out situation on that one. I almost got to go home free, but they came out. I usually give them about 30 seconds, to come out and get their dogs inside, especially the ones that want to eat me. In that situation, those dogs bark pretty loud. The whole neighborhood could hear them. So if the owner can't hear them, after about 30 seconds, I'm out of there. Just leave them some chlorine tablets on the block wall and then on to the next one. But they came out, so got to service. All right, guys, 4 minutes to the next pool. Talking about tips on how to get a mentor. All right, guys, the next tip I want to talk about is, just keep asking. When you approach these guys, I say guys, but I don't mean just guys. Look, I know there's girls in the industry too. Look, I get it. I was a male nurse before I got into pools, so I get it. But I just say guys because I'm a guy and my mentor's a guy and my mentee's a guy. But just know when I say guys, you can be, whatever you want to be. I understand that there's girls in the industry too. All right, so when you guys, approach these people and ask them to be your mentor, I think one of the things that's going to help you, win their heart is just kind of, number one, complimenting them. If I go back to the story of how, I met my mentee, he basically told me how organized my truck was and how he thought he could learn something from me. That was a compliment right there. I immediately liked the guy. I was like, hey, this guy's cool. He thinks I'm smart, or I've got it together or whatever. And that was a nice compliment, and I immediately thought, that's nice. This is a nice guy. One of the things he also did that I would highly recommend is, he basically told me where he's at and where he's struggling. And, this particular individual has, a little over 30 pools, and, kind of told me the troubles that he was experiencing in the industry, and one of them was that he's spending too much time at each pool and stuff like that. And I immediately knew whether or not I could help this individual or not, because I had seen all these problems before. If you rewind my life 3 or 4 years, I'm him. So there's a lot I could do to help this guy out. But if you approach these potential mentors and they have 20 pools and they've been doing it for 2 months and they bought the route, they probably don't have too much to offer you. But you'll know right away, because as soon as you tell them your situation and what you're struggling with, you guys will both know if that's a good match. Maybe it is and maybe it isn't. And then the next tip I would give you is just keep asking. I mean, you got to go out of your comfort zone a little bit, and it's going to be kind of embarrassing for you. But if you really want a mentor, you're probably going to have to ask a lot of people before you finally find one. And that's just because, a lot of guys aren't interested in helping, but a lot of guys are. And so you have to go through and sift through all these ones who don't really have time or don't want to or not interested, to find the ones that number one would, number two, and that actually enjoy mentoring. All right, guys, I need to text my mentee real quick. I got 2 more stops and I'm gonna go pick them up. So I told him I'd text him when I'm getting close. Okay. Moving on. Okay, guys, the next tip on how to get a mentor is keep it casual at first. Don't ask for too much too fast. You might scare a guy off if you ask for too much too fast, and so keep it kind of casual at first. Just tell them you need some help and you're wondering if they could help you, and then kind of let that relationship blossom a little bit. And as you're letting it blossom, you need to do everything you can to help that person out, because you have to understand that, they are sacrificing their time a little bit, even if they enjoy mentoring. It is a bit of a sacrifice for them. They're going to get home a little bit later that day because they were helping or whatever. So do whatever you can. If you're out there, just doing a ride along, maybe you can run the pole for them, do the netting, and do the brushing or whatever. That'll save them a little bit of time. If you're doing a repair, say, hey, what do you need me to bring in the backyard? If there's anything I can carry so we don't have to make 2 trips, let me know. And just let them know that you're willing to help. You're not going to just sit there and watch and take up their time and pick their brain and slow them down for the day. I think that goes a long way. Kind of funny that even has to be said, but I think it's true. All right, guys, a couple tips real quick on how to be or how to find a mentee or be a mentor yourself. Everybody should have a mentor and be a mentor. And like, look at my situation. I've got about 5 years on my own of experience, and I've got a mentor that's double that experience, if not more. And then I've got a guy that I'm mentoring that he just barely started out. So I can be a mentor myself and also have a mentor of my own. And you can too, whether you've been in the field for 6 months or a year or 20 years or 30 years, there's always somebody that's at a higher level than you, and there's somebody that's at a lower level than you. I think the easiest way to find a mentee is to just put yourself out there, make yourself available. A lot of these guys are not going to ask. They're going to be too embarrassed, but you can talk to them. I'm sure you've had conversations with other pool guys, and as soon as you find out that you're at a higher level, whether maybe it's the number of accounts or maybe it's whatever, you can just tell when you talk to somebody that you've been in their shoes and you've progressed past that point. You can offer it to them. You can give them your phone number and say, hey, yeah, if you ever want to grab lunch sometime, let me know. I'd love to meet up. Hey, if you ever need any repair work, if you ever need help with any repair work, I'd be willing to, help you out, get you to the next level, make some bucks. I'd like to see you succeed in this industry. Just let them know that you care about them and that you want them to be successful. And I think another tip is, when you finally find that mentee, make yourself available. If they call you and you don't pick up the phone, like, I know you're busy on the route and you're busy running your business. If you can't answer, call them back. Make it a point to make time in your day to call them back. And if you can't answer, then answer right away. Give them your time. And if they need your help, go meet them out on the job site. If they get the feeling that you say you want to help, but every time they need help, you're too busy, or you're whatever, you just try to help as minimum as possible, but not really helping them solve their problem. Like, put yourself in their shoes. They have a problem and they're asking you to help them. So make that problem your problem and help that guy out. And if you do that, when they get into a bind. But long story short, guys, I started this video. The world's kind of a crappy place, and it kind of just seems like it's getting worse and worse. Like, people are just getting cold-hearted. But you can make this world a little bit better of a place, and it's not very hard. And maybe you can't make it better for everybody, but you can make it better for a few people out there. So, I challenge you to do that. I'm going to be meeting up with my mentee pretty soon. I'm hoping to get him on camera. I'd like for him to share his story. I don't know if he's camera shy or whatever. I'll kind of throw that out. I definitely don't want to push him into something he's uncomfortable doing, but we'll see. If he's not opposed to that, I'll see if I can get him to kind of share his story and what he's done so far. But wrapping this video up, please subscribe if you're interested in this kind of stuff. Like the video, and in the comments below, if you have a mentor or you are a mentor, I'd love to hear some tips and some stories of how you guys made that happen, how you met, how it progressed, and what kind of an experience it was for you. Was it a good experience or was it a bad experience? Because I'm pretty new to this mentoring stuff, but I tell you what, man, I love it. I love it on both sides. I love having a mentor and I love being a mentor. And I think it's definitely provided me with a little bit more enjoyment in life. I already enjoy life. I'm a pretty happy guy. I've got a great job, great family, just a great life. But you know, it's nice to be able to help somebody out. You know, it makes you feel good about yourself, and it makes you feel like you're making a small difference in this world. So I highly recommend it. All right, guys, just wanted to give you a quick update here. As you can see, it's a lot later in the day. The sun's going down. It's 5:27. Just wrapped up for the day. Just took my mentee home, and we had a great time. Did some of my pulls. Basically did about 3/4 of my route together today. He just wanted to follow along and ride along with me. And then we had a little extra time, so we went and did a couple of his pulls too, and took a look at some of the repair work he's doing. He's just killing it, man. Just absolutely killing it, which is awesome. Just love seeing that. He was a little camera shy, so I didn't want to push that on him. Didn't want him to do anything he's not comfortable doing, so I didn't even ask him. Turns out he knows that I have a YouTube channel. He's seen some of the videos, which kind of blows my mind because I didn't think too many people had seen them, but he knew I was out there, which is kind of funny. If you guys have any interest in joining a Facebook group, I'm going to go ahead and start one. It's going to be brand new, so there might not be anybody in there when you come join. It might just be me, but I bet you there's probably a big need for it, so I think it'll probably grow pretty fast. But basically a group where guys that are interested in getting into the industry can kind of, network a little bit, talk to each other, and get some help and some mentorship. So anyways, if you're interested in that, look down in the link below. I don't have that group set up yet, but I'll set it up pretty soon and post a link. Those groups are pretty easy to set up. I've done that before, so it shouldn't take me too long to get that all squared away. And I know there's been some guys on the comments in the past that have mentioned, trying to reach out to me and call me and stuff. And if you wanted to come join a Facebook group and ask me some questions, and I'm sure some of the other guys there have some other opinions and perspectives as well, which would be great. And just kind of create a little community where we can all help each other out, help each other succeed. So come on over. I'd love to see you. But that's pretty much all I got for you today. So until next time, talk to you later.